Women have to come outside from their paradoxes or the thought processes or the boxes which they have, and they can really make wonders in the manufacturing industry.
I fortunately had a lot of men, women around me who motivated me, who said that you can do it.
Upskilling is not happening only at the urban level, but it has gone to the rural level also.
Society does not create pressure. It's the woman who creates pressure on herself. It starts from there and gets reflected in the society, is what I genuinely feel.
So now industry identify or recruit the people, those who are really good for that job, rather than having genders in their mind.
When I'm leading a factory, I have so many women working with me. When a leader says that I can do it, no woman stops. She feels that even I can do it then.
There is no sector which is stopping anyone to come. They are looking for best people.
Where I'm saying that I'm not really looking at the degree that you are having. Whatever, if you're a graduate, if you're master's, it is absolutely fine with me. Unless and until you're ready to work for the job role that I am expecting, I ensure one thing, that you will get to learn.
Women as a CEO, women as a CXO, right? Or women as the entrepreneur, right? So her role is changing.
I think for women, this is the best place. The workplace is the best place where they can be aware, they can get good exposure, and they can break the barriers.
Why should we call it as a women leadership, right? We should say, who is your leader?
Yeah,
I think that should be the neutral statement should come, and I'm sure that in India we'll have soon these kind of stuff. Who is your leader, right? Not the person name or gender name.
I'm Vandana Arvind, an entrepreneur, homemaker, Kathak dancer, and an independent consultant with a passion for creating meaningful conversations. Welcome to this special International Women's Day edition of our podcast, Beyond the Spotlight. Today, we shine a light on a sector where women remain underrepresented, the manufacturing sector. While we see women excelling in various industries, manufacturing continues to be perceived as male-dominated. But is this perception outdated? What challenges do women in this field face? And more importantly, what solutions can drive change? Before we begin, a heartfelt thank you to Resonance Solutions for supporting this panel discussion. Resonance Solution is a social entrepreneurship startup committed to fostering entrepreneurship, creating employment opportunities, and equipping individuals with employable skills through training and startup incubation. A special thanks to its founder, Mr. Vivek Sanare, for his invaluable support. Joining us today are two phenomenal women who bring unique perspective to this conversation. We have Dr. Sayali Gankar, Vice Chancellor of D.Y. Patil University, an educationist shaping the workforce of tomorrow. And Vinda Bal, Director of Synergies Consultant and founder of Transcento Decor, for which she received Women Entrepreneurship Award by Maratha Chambers of Commerce, Industries and Agriculture, Pune. She is a woman entrepreneur making her mark in the manufacturing sector. I welcome you both.
Thank you.
So let's dive in with our question answer session and the discussion for today. So Dr. Sayali Gankar, would you like to say a few words before we start, or shall I start with?
I think we can start with the questions.
Great. In your experience, how has the representation of women in manufacturing evolved over the years? Are we seeing more women entering the sector, or are the numbers still stagnant?
Interesting. Let me first thank Vandana and Vivek Sanare for giving me an opportunity to have interaction, especially on the podcast Resonance Talks. Wonderful question, Vandana. Definitely in India, the kind of changes which are happening are really remarkable. And currently, if you look at it, because your question is more towards the manufacturing sector and women's participation and their role in those areas. I think today, if you look at it, we always talk about women coming in industry, and then we have in the technology background women. When we talk about it, the first name comes in front of us is Sudha Murthy, right, where she struggled a lot to enter into manufacturing industry, where rather than struggle, it was an innovative idea of her sending a message to Ratan Tata ji and getting an opportunity to work on the floor, right? So look at the kind of transformation today what is happening, right? So if you look at it, the initially it was a struggle for women to enter into different fields because a typical role was been assigned to them for a long time or ages, right? But then the technology created an impact, and today if you look at it, manufacturing industry is not only producing the kind of products, right, but has come up with the technology interventions which are like, take an example, you have a robotics now, you have data analysis, you have IoT coming in, artificial intelligence which is coming in. So the first taboo was there that the women, due to her physical strength, she cannot come on floor, right? But then now if you look at it, things have changed immensely, right? One is opportunities are there where women can now really work on manufacturing sector. Look at the entrepreneurs, those who never thought, we never thought, right, that beyond pickles and masalas, we never thought that women can enter. But today if you look at it, women are designing especially at ISRO, when you look at the success story, all women's created that satellites, right? So the things have changed immensely. Yes, one of the important barrier is that still we are confined to our thoughts. We are not aware about the opportunities. What I have realized, right, that how the technology is creating an impact and the opportunities which are created, those are required to be learned by the young generation. They need to understand that, and there are good opportunities. So manufacturing industry is now been, we can say that the equally divided with the gender, especially women, where they are playing important role, as I've said, that with the help of technology, the data analytics, data science, artificial intelligence, IoT, right? All these are supporting them to take the decisions. If you look at it, automation is happening. Industry 4.0, which we are talking about, is a completely different factory is being created now, right, where everything is automated so easily. So now the focus is on more on innovation, focus is on quality, focus is on reducing prices, focus is on productivity, right? So if you look at it, today's factory setups have been changed. So I think that is the gone are the days where we were talking about having only a confined to typically a role where they were working on it. But I think now things have been changed. Women have to come outside from their paradoxes or the thought processes or the boxes which they have, and they can really make wonders in the manufacturing industry.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, Doctor, do you think the scenario has changed in the rural, semi-urban, urban sector, in all the sector, or is it limited to any one sector?
No, I don't think so. Today, if you look at it, the government of India and the Maharashtra state, the kind of efforts which are being taken, especially through Ministry of Education. If you look at it, PMO, Honorable Narendra Modi ji has taken that kind of step when he started in his first tenure, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So now if you look at it, 5 plus 5 plus 5, so total 15 years tenure is there, and where if you look at it, today women are being upskilled in the various areas, right? So upskilling is not happening only at the urban level, but it has gone to the rural level also. So if you look at it, the kind of the organization like NASSCOM, NSDC, Future Skills, right, Prime Future Skills, or maybe there are many institutions which have come up, and they are now having hand holding with the local colleges or the community centers, and now the girls are being empowered, right? Today I was going through a wonderful reel where the girl is from a rural area, and now she is saying that my mother have never thought that there is a Harvard the institute or the campus exist in the world, so look at the girl who is coming from a very different background in terms of educational, in terms of economic background, where no one knows what the technology is, and now she is into that. So I think things have changed immensely, so yes. And if you look at it, let's look at the kind of efforts are taken at every level, I think I always feel like if you want to have a Saksham Samaj, then we should have a Saksham Mahila, right? And that has been realized by the government, and earlier governments also, they have taken that effort, and those efforts now we can say, of course, the economical changes which are happening are really giving an opportunity to India when we talk about third world's largest economy.
Yes.
And when we are saying that we need to compete our nearby countries, especially China, where they have we can say that cities are named as production hubs. Right, so look at the skilling, look at the massive production which they are. So they are not confined with only one particular segment. They are looking at that how we can produce the product, give the product at a very good cost, and make it across the world. So I think manufacturing industries in India, they need to change their perspective. Look at the kind of Korean industry working on semiconductor. Right, so semiconductor industry has been evolved like anything, right? We never thought. I still remember ENTC or electronic and telecommunication, right? Typical engineering program was aiming like we will go and work in PCB kind of companies. But today, if you look at it, they realized it that we can go into computers, we can go into as I've said, data sciences, data analysis. So things have changed immensely. So rural India, I think we call it as a Bharat, right? So it's coming so closer to the India incorporation, we can say that, right? So I think things have changed. The two things which are very important, the role of education institutions and universities is very importantly to be played. Maharashtra the skill university is taking effort. Private universities in Maharashtra, in Pune, if you look at it, almost 20 private universities are there, and everyone has come up with these kind of thought process. I'm not representing only the D.Y. Patil University, Pune and Ambi campus, but if you look at it, all these universities, right, are contributing to empower women. Industries have taken a role where they are coming up with the CSR programs, right, corporate social responsibility. What they are doing, they are announcing lots of scholarship for the women. Government of Maharashtra has announced that women education will be free, right? So what does it mean? It means that today women has to explore these opportunities, girls have to explore those opportunities, we have to handhold each other, and so that the kind of transformation which we are trying to make it next 5 years. See, we need to also understand change is not that easy, right? It takes time, right? We have to have that patience also to make that transformation. But I think the future for the rural and urban is really very, very promising, and I'm sure that if you look at the women contribution is phenomenal, right? So if you talk about innovation, you talk about any industry, any field, any sector, right? You talk about medical sciences, you have so many examples. When you talk about pharma, you have many examples, right? So when you talk about ISRO, you have the fleet or a team of women, those who are contributing in ISRO, right? When you talk about computer sciences, and when you go towards startup companies and all, so look at Vinda, what she is doing, right? So climate, social responsibilities, they are also working into the social engineering, right? So if you look at it, I think they are really working sustainability. So the 17 SDG goals which we always talk about, women have taken that, they have realized it. So they are beyond their typical production houses to something different, right? And I think that quest is really helping them to come out with their the all potential and unleashing that potential. So if you look at it, rural or urban, I don't think so. There is a gap. Of course, this will be a debatable issue. There is a gap, no doubt about it. But let's look at the positive thing, what is happening, right? So that many can join this positive moment in our country. This is what I feel so.
Absolutely, sure. So Vinda, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You have built a manufacturing business from the ground up. What motivated you to enter this sector? Were you in doubt? What kind of resistance did you face?
All right. Thank you, Vandana, for this opportunity. I'm just loving this topic also, and the podcast resonance talks that you have initiated. It's a great initiative. So, yeah, coming back to your question, I look back to my journey because my background, academic background and professional background, has totally been different. I am a soft skills trainer. I've done masters in social work. So a completely different background from then. Even I had not thought that I will ever be in manufacturing. I would always say that that's not my cup of tea. But then it was a family business which was initiated back in 2016, and then in COVID was the turning point. The two lockdowns that we all faced. I think many small businesses faced the brunt. The only thing that I had on my mind is the business concept had a lot of potential. The only thing is it had to be brought up from the ashes. And while we were into minds that whether we should simply shut it down or then make it profitable, we had only those two options. I had a very great confidence in making it a profitable concept. So I thought of taking up a leap and then looking into the whole thing. The only thing I knew is one product or a small business, the level it was back then, will not be sufficient. I will have to grow it up to a great extent. And then the story actually started. That is how I landed up in manufacturing. So many people say the first resistance probably could be, which I must tell you that it did not come to me directly, and I consider myself blessed for not being able to being faced by those kind of resistances to a great extent. I fortunately had a lot of men, women around me who motivated me, who said that you can do it. And why was that? I'll come back to this point again. But the only resistance would be, do you really want to do this? And women, when they get into business, generally are considered to be working at a home-based level. So do you really want to make it big? And you think that while you not having that kind of background, you think that you can do it? That was, I think, the first introduction of mine with myself, when I realized that I have that entrepreneurial streak in me, and I think I can pull up a business concept and make it a profitable one. That is where the whole thing started. So why people motivate you or are positive for your kind of initiative is only dependent on you, how you look at it. People call you ziddi, they call you adamant, that are you really, what you have are aspirations which are beyond the reach. They keep telling you all that. One thing they appreciate is when you keep walking, and that is what helped me, and that is where I got the positivity from the people around me.
So this doubt that you talk about, which was there around people around you, was it gender based?
So I think I want you or many women also to change this perspective a little. I think it does not get created or initiated from the people's mind. It starts from the woman's mind. I know so many women. I'm part of business networks of women, and there must be like thousands of them. When I tell them that if you want to grow big, there are certain steps that you have to take. The first thing they try to rely on is, no, this much is sufficient for me, I am good. Or if there is a growth spurt that I'm seeing, then you please talk to my husband. And that is where women themselves restrict a lot. I think the moment they set them free, people around, society around does not really matter. Society does not create pressure. It's the woman who creates pressure on herself. It starts from there and gets reflected in the society, is what I genuinely feel. So if you ask me, was it a gender based thing? Yes, it was, but because it gets initiated from the mind of woman. If she decides not to really look at herself as woman but as human, things change.
I think in the society, in every house, while the children are being brought up, when it comes to certain work in the house, like go and get things from outside or go and repair your cycle chain, or probably do some electrical plumbing work. It's like ये लड़का का काम है. And then when it comes to, you know, अरे पापा को भूख लगी है, go and make some food for him or heat the food, then we say it's the girl who has to do it. So I think in the house or probably society in general, from the very, you know, when we are nurturing a child, these are the thoughts which are put in us while we are growing. So I think maybe as we grow up, these self-doubt is created within us so much about, you know, this is something she cannot do it, or this is something which she cannot manage, or it's something meant for boys. So these are the questions, I think these are put by the people in the society, and that's how I think they grow up. So when they grow up, these are the thoughts they put in further next generation also, and that's how I think the society has to change from that angle, more from the very base. And
Okay, so I'll just tell you, we call them gender-based roles, and gender biases are generally talked about. But I think, yes, you were right, but we as society have evolved a lot in last 2 decades, and we must appreciate that. Even if like urban, rural, whichever background you talk about, but I am now having my factory in a pretty much rural area, and yes, there are certain kinds of people, but if we even go back in history, you know, we have seen women working along with the men, because that has been the need of the family. It is always considered as family income. So may it be agriculture, may it be anything that has been started by her husband, she associates, she helps, she supports. So there is nothing that she really cannot do. Probably the one question that you say, yes, there is this nurture, and that is happening across families, but in last 2 decades we have evolved. People have started understanding that no role can be limited to a gender for a particular gender. So then the next step probably is asking myself, let me tell you, even I had those kind of things. Now I am running a factory, and there are so many things which I am not aware. I have to tell myself that it is not necessary that I should be able to do everything myself. What I can do is I can learn one and understand and hire. So as she correctly said, one thing I tell myself is it is not rocket science, and even if it is, there are women who have done it. So then why? There is nothing as a stoppage. And when a leader says that, when I am leading a factory, I have so many women working with me. When a leader says that I can do it, no woman stops. She feels that even I can do it then. I think this is how we can spread the thought and change the mindset.
so what were the roadblocks you had while being a woman entrepreneur?
Roadblocks were largely from my side than from the society side. I want to really mention it here that society did not create any roadblock for me, except a few, very rare few people who said that, do you really want to do this, do you really want to grow, you have very high aspirations and you don't have that sort of background, you're first generation entrepreneur, do you think that you should be doing it? And there were also questions like, at the cost of what? At the cost of your children, at the cost of your family. But when your family supports, and when your children support, and when they understand that why this is being done by our mother, nothing really matters. So there were no roadblocks from the society side. But because I had no technical or technology based background, I initially faced a lot of issues where I had to really put in myself, burn the midnight oil and learn a lot. Those were the only things. I think the moment we start asking these questions, if you ask a woman if are you facing a problem because you are a woman, she will start thinking from that point of view. If you ask her, are you facing a problem because you are a human, are you generally facing a problem, the list of problems would change. So we need to change this question, we need to change this approach. Stop looking at yourself as a problem facer because you are a woman. Everybody faces a problem. The kind of manufacturing industry, we say that there are many men than women. So like a number is, there is an imbalance, we all know that. But don't those men face a problem? They do. The only thing is we don't ever ask them that are you facing a problem because you're a man. We don't say that. And the moment you start asking questions from that perspective, they will be the first one who will say yes, I do, because I have pressure of my family where my wife is not earning and this is my only business and I'm supposed to make it a profitable one because I have a family to feed. So don't they have a pressure? They do. I think we need to start now looking at the gender problem from a, not from a feminism or gender based perspective, but holistically. Then there are so many things which need to be addressed, and then we can be together while we approach even government from the perspective of getting support from the policy.
Absolutely. I like your point of view. So, Dr. Sayali Gankar, for you, in academia, do you see fewer female students opting for manufacturing related courses? If so, why do you think this is the case?
Yeah, I think in our earlier discussion, I made this point very clear that women were having a typical thought process that manufacturing is the only business of men, right? But now I think they have realized it, that yes, there are many opportunities because of the technology which has been changing, especially with typically the areas where women workforce becomes a little difficult for them to handle, right? Especially like in manufacturing or heavy kind of the manufacturing, if it happens with those machinery, it becomes difficult. But today if you look at it, the technology has made all those things very easy, right? So one thing is very important, that they need to make themselves aware that what opportunities are coming in those areas, right? So and I think one more thing has come in past 10 to 15 years, that everyone feels that computer science, engineering and IT or data science and AI/ML, these are the only areas for women, right? But now if you look at it, the opportunities are increasing, right? Because if you look at the kind of policies which government of Maharashtra and government of India is making, they need huge manpower. So if we all focus only on one particular the specialization, it will become a difficult. But then now I think girls also have realized that they can come and take those specializations also.
True. Are there any government initiatives which are promoting either the industries to have more female concentric or probably a equal ratio or balance between men and women?
It has been advised, right? But at the end of the kind of selection process, you always select the person who is fit for that job. One is definitely the intellectual ability which we talk about, right? And on the skills which are required. So now industry identify or recruit the people, those who are really good for that job, rather than having genders in their mind. So how everyone can make themselves capable enough to work in that scenario is the question. So how do you learn? Where do you take the education? Which all are the upskilling areas you have covered, right? So all that matters a lot to enter into the industry, because private organizations, they will always, because yes, 30% the reservation is there for women, right? So most of the time you don't find the women who can really come and take that job. So how can we look at that? I think that is a question which every woman should ask, or the aspirants which we are talking about, they should think about it, that which area or which the company is a role model for myself, right? So I think the dream company and role models are very important. So more we have, I think that will help the women to enter into those areas. And as I've said earlier, there is no sector which is stopping anyone to come. They are looking for best people. So competent people, best people are always accepted in all the type of companies, because everyone wants to make the organization profitable, right? So and they need the good talent with them. So the opportunities are many. How you look at it and how do you really work on that is very important.
I would like to add something here. As she correctly said, when organizations hire, now I am also into, because I have to run organization, I hire people. I want to see, students, if I'm hiring freshers, both male, female, I want to see all of them coming forward and proving themselves competent enough for the kind of job role. But there are certain limitations, particularly for particular jobs, which industries have not really put up. But the kind of experiences industries have been having for so many years, ultimately they have landed up saying that okay, for this role we are particularly looking for a male candidate. Why does that happen is because when you hire a female candidate and when she ends up saying that no, I will not do it because I am a woman or I am a girl, then the job suffers, and no industry ultimately wants to let the job or the business suffer because of the gender. I think that perspective also needs to be changed. There are also incidences or cases where girl students or girls want to do that job but their families don't support. So they say that okay, if there is back office job, then only you go for it, otherwise if it is a field job, don't go for it. ये तेरे बस की नहीं, you will not be able to do
See,
it.
and I think the opportunities, where are those available, and from which pocket area?
Yes.
So once you go to the rural area, they have a different sets of opportunities, right? When you come to urban or international level, you have a different opportunities, right? So safety, security, these are also concern which are been discussed and or also one of the barrier for the women, So there we have to really play an important role, because take an example, if a girl is really doing great job but her appointment is in somewhere outskirt of the city, then it becomes difficult for her to work. But at the same time, when the girl is working in a medical or a hospital organization and she's working as a doctor, she doesn't mind, because even at 1 o'clock she can drive the car and go, right? So it becomes the one is the location, right? Which organization, what kind of processes, system the organization has to provide or to take care of the women workforce. I think that is required to be taken care, and that comes from that organizational leadership, that how they would like to protect. There are companies like in Gurgaon, I have seen that a lady is manufacturing all the products and she's selling it, and all women have been hired. But she said that I have three shifts in my company, and almost the women are working with me. But I see to it that my buses, my transport services are provided to them, and the driver drops them very safely at home. I think that's what is required. See, one is the question is, really women are capable of doing all the jobs? Yes, they are. Right? But then in which situation, in which context they are going to work, I think that matters a lot. And therefore the background of family, the economic background, the cultural background, right, the opportunities which are available are required to be mapped with that opportunity. Then I can say that yes, this is for me, right? So I think that is required to be taken. What she's very right what she is saying. So rather than gender, it's more of context and the kind of company which you're going to work. Some few companies you will find that workforce is really very happy because women are working very hard, right? They are ready to take risks, they are ready to take the challenges, they want to go and really spread their wings to unfold the various the kind of opportunities. But then if that support system is not available, it becomes difficult, and therefore systems are very important. Culture of that organization is very important. Yes. Culture of that the state, city, organization, family. So how are we creating that ecosystem for her to work effectively? It's very important.
Also, Doctor, I feel that most of the manufacturing unit, like Vinda pointed out, are mostly in the rural or semi-urban area.
Yes.
Do you think that could also be the reason that we don't have too many women from the urban society
joining there? That becomes a challenge. See, when the location of a company matters a lot, because if you don't get a competent workforce, it becomes difficult for you to have that speed in the organization, right? If you don't get a good team, if you don't get a competent people, then how are you going to run the organization, right? I think that is required to be realized by everyone.
So Vinda, in your organization, so you hire a lot of people because you have a big manufacturing unit. How do you go about hiring? Is it through freshers going to college like D.Y. Patil, or do you have a reference scheme or through consultant? Yes, please tell.
All. So I tried everything. In fact, I wanted to initiate this, that I contacted colleges, MBA colleges, graduation colleges, and I have a very open kind of expectation where I'm saying that I'm not really looking at the degree that you are having. Whatever, if you're graduate, if you are masters, it is absolutely fine with me. Unless and until you're ready to work for the job role that I am expecting, I ensure one thing, that you will get to learn. So what I'm trying to do is connect with the rural colleges with the mindset that if people who are around this area, who are local, get the job in their vicinity, so that the migration or the kind of travel time, the stress because of the travel time reduces. As a society, we all need to work around that, and if I have an opportunity as an entrepreneur to contribute to this, I will certainly do that. The roadblock I'm facing here is awareness. There's a tremendous gap. Though students are getting degrees, but the kind of awareness that must be built along with that, and the exposure that they are getting in the current scenario is quite limited. Hence, when we try to initiate something new or something like this, they're not ready. They're still filled with the pre notions, where they want to work with the brands, where they want to work with big companies, so that they feel safe and secured. I understand their point of view also, because when you say you're working with Infosys or Wipro or the big names, then you are secured with your job, and that is the only thing that is known to this crowd. But I feel that we need to have more awareness generation programs, where we must tell them that startups is the future. So if you are associating with a startup, there is if you trying to look at safety, security in terms of your jobs, then it is nowhere. May it be a big name or a small name, security is gone. It is only based on your skills, and if you have right skills, you will get job anywhere. That awareness needs to be built, and I feel that at this moment I'm not being really able to contribute to that, but that is my agenda, that I want to build this awareness in rural areas, especially in those colleges, master's degree, where MBA colleges or graduation colleges, where students can opt for startups, so that we strengthen the startups from all perspectives. How do I hire is, I also contact colleges, and I am ready to hire freshers. In fact, I am inclined to hire freshers. Why? Because they are naive and they are fresh. So the minds are fresh and there is no baggage. So that I can train them, one, and I want them to contribute from a concept or idea point of view. My business is such that there is a tremendous scope for new ideas. If new generation, new young blood, young minds come, they have a lot to do, and this bridge has to be built somewhere, and I'm working on that. Otherwise, we hire through agencies, references, whatever that works. Ultimately, most important thing is if the person is fit for the job.
What is the ratio of men versus women in your organization?
Women are more. Because the kind of work I have, it's more of a kind where women can work. There's no huge machinery or whatever. I have a carpentry setup also, so woodworking setup, where men are working currently, but I am all open because our women support them. Whenever there is a workload, our women working in the other production area support them. So there is nothing that in my particular business, there is nothing that women cannot do. If they are ready to learn, I am open to hire everybody.
Nice. So we don't see many women in the leadership role when it comes to manufacturing industry. Do you think that could be one of the reasons why women are not opting to get into this sector?
No, I think women are coming up in a great numbers these days. Around me, whichever factories I have, I know that there are many such setups which are led by women. So I know a duo who are converting containers, the shipping containers, into homes. So it is a absolutely different concept, and there are women who are working in innovative concepts like that. So it is coming up. Probably so far, when we talk about businesses initiated by women, they were restricted to, as she pointed out, the masalas, the kind of achars or whatever. Somehow the families or women are restricted to such kind of concepts which can be managed from their own homes. The moment they start thinking big, I think there are a lot of things that they can do. It's not the industry limitation, because even the government of India is coming up with lot of subsidies and lot of schemes which are in the benefit of women whoever want to come up for the manufacturing industry, or they want to start their own business. There are a lot of subsidies. So
wow, that's
the
nice.
continue with her the interaction. I think now, if you look at it, the economical changes which are happening, right, and the second generation which is coming with these big houses of Indian industries, you will find that maximum number of women have taken the charge now. So if you look at many of them are there. If you start talking about, yesterday only I met Swastik Rubber Private Limited owner. She is leading that company. Then if you look at it, if you move in Mumbai market, you will find that Hirachand Walchand, that Pallavi Jha is taking care of Walchand Group. So if you look at it, this succession planning has created many opportunities for second generation as a woman or a daughter taking it. When you talk about leadership, many women have come, right? In private organization, in government organization, everywhere you will find them. Being a first generation entrepreneur, women are coming up now. But in which areas? Like in startups, right? When you talk about it, they have realized, because they picked up the different education and they have come up with new ideas now. So when you go through the 100 unicorns, right, of India, or maybe startups in India, you'll find many women have come up with the different product innovation ideas and doing extremely well, right? Look at the Nykaa, right, the kind of product which Nair has started. Falguni, right, again, she has entered into a wonderful computer engineering programs, and that is what she is doing. As I was giving you the example of Gurgaon based company, which she is supplying tailoring products, right? So we call it as a tailor, but she is into fashion designing, and what she is doing, she is supplying to Zara and H&M and M&S. So if you look at it, the complete scenario is changed, right? But where, as I've said, it is coming to the area where the opportunities are more in number, right? So when the opportunities are more, and when the female or a woman thinks that she is capable enough to handle it, they are venturing into it. So it talks about, and therefore, if you look at the leadership, the kind of magazines which I keep reading, one of them is of course HBR. You'll find that many women are now led by especially all these type of sectors led by the women leaders very successfully. Initially, we used to have only 1 or 2 prime ministers, having examples like Margaret Thatcher and Prime Minister or Indira Gandhi. But if you look at it, you just look at the Sansad, what kind of people are they are going there, right? So, and they are contributing, like Sudha Murthy is there. We never thought that she will go and she will address, right? Or Sushma Swaraj, right? So look at the kind of thought processes these people have contributed. Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, right? If you look at it, in Pune we have Anu Aga, we have Leela Poonawala, we have Radhanika Pradhan, Jyoti Gokte. You have the startups which have been started here, right, by all these young entrepreneurs. I think that's what is happening, and women are coming up in a big number. So leadership, now you will find that we never thought that women leadership requires different inputs, right? We never looked at it, because they also face challenges, but their sets of challenges are different than the main. right? So I think those programs are now designed very effectively, that how women can become a leader in organization, women as a CEO, women as a CXO, right, or women as a the entrepreneur, right? So her role is changing, and what things are required, why should I depend on the team, or where should I delegate my decisions or my task, or how can I take the decision based on data. I think those things are required to be learned by the women, and that is what women leaders are doing it. So the organizations have designed wonderful program which are giving them an opportunity. Iron Lady, I have seen that one group is working very very effectively, right? Recently a wonderful program was been organized for women leaders in Qatar, right? We never thought that Qatar is organizing women leadership program, right? We were talking about very few known examples, but there are many sheroes, that is what I can say. Rather than heroes, there are many sheroes which are doing extremely great contribution to the economy. They are creating opportunities for employability. They are creating employable the teams within their organization, you know. So I think that's happening very, very effectively. So it's not only manufacturing. You will find many women's CHROs. If you just go on LinkedIn, you will find that thousands and thousands CHROs are women, right? And they are taking a decision. And you will find that every panel will be having minimum 2 to 3 women talking on their own the areas. And I think that's what the success of this country is, right? So it's not only we respect women, but I think we are empowering them, and now they also have realized that we know the power, we know how to lead the organization, right? So I think that perspective, of course at rural or urban or few areas where see the transformation is happening from underdeveloped country to developing country to developed country. So of course these opportunities are there, and I think women are really the playing an important role in it. So not confined with their typical roles which were being talked ages. I think that.
So what I can sum up is, you know, a lot of women are there, but I think they are so much concentrated who are young entrepreneurs in the urban sector, a lot. But when it comes to the rural sector, there are very few. I think that's one of the reasons why we don't see so many, you know, women who are coming and joining the organization, because it's a male-dominated industry where they do not or may not feel comfortable hiring many female because the society does not allow it.
No, I don't think so now that is happening. I think father and mother have become very strong at families now. They are giving equal right to their kids, right? Of course, see why women has been always taking the responsibility at home. One is the connection with the kid is very important. See, that's the emotional attachment, because you are giving birth to the child, right? And that kind of connection is something different which no one can have. So taking that responsibility and ownership happens when it is your things, right? So I think that we need to understand second, and therefore it was always with the women that you take care of because you know the needs very better, right? But now women has realized that in addition to this, I can do many things. And what are those? Not only the child nurturing or child taking care, but in rural areas don't look at them in that way that they are in the boxes. No. Actually, in rural, women work harder than the men. Right? So I have worked with Sudha Kothari in Wada in Rajguru Nagar. I have seen that women, when I used to ask them the questions, what do you do? No, morning we start with making the food. After that, I take care of my all the livestock, that is cattle. Then I go on my farm. I see to it that the things are being stacked properly to be taken care. Maybe I'm not able to run the tractor, but then I can take care of that, and that task has been given to her. By the time she comes home at 5 o'clock, again she is taking care of the family. I think that's the massive energy which the women has, and they have realized it, and therefore once they are educated, empowered with the education and coupled up with the opportunities. See, we have to create opportunities, right? Today, if you look at it, you will find that everyone is educated, but where are the opportunities for the jobs? Even for the entrepreneurship, I think we need to create those opportunities. Then this workforce can be channelized in that direction. So I think the rural areas, women work very hard, right? Because they struggle a lot, right? They take care of everything. In urban areas, at least we have everything available at home. Right, you have washing machines, you have dishwashers, you have Rotomac, you have Bai coming in to work, right? So you have reduced your the home responsibilities or the kind of activities what we do regularly, right? So we know urban women knows very well what is the quality or the time and how to really take care of or manage the time effectively. So she's good at it, right? Because she has those resources. That's why my approach gets changed, because I have those facilities around me. If I don't have, and that's the ecosystem, that's the empowerment which is required. So tomorrow, if you give that opportunity to the women who are in the rural area, I'm sure they'll do that very successfully. And so many of them, look at the Amul. Every time we give this success story of Amul, right? Why those? Yeah. So why those examples we are talking about? Because they were empowered by the organization. So unless organizations empower, how can they give you the 100%? Right? So I think that we really need to. So work-life balance for women is different than what the men they looked at it. I think we need to change our perspective. We need to change our policies. We need to change our structure. We need to really look into it. And I think that if we do it, as an organization, I think or as a state or policy makers at the national level, I think we can make the wonders in this country very well. Work from home has to make the changes, right? Today, if you look at it, the kids are studying. The mother is taking care of everything at home, including her job, right? And at the same time, the first question now, the responsibility of every woman, every parent, every father, or every family member is that how you can teach the same thing to the boys, right? And that is very important. It's not only support how you do everything, but I'm sitting on my couch, won't help you, right? So you need to really understand what she needs. Support doesn't mean that giving her freedom to do it, but support means that maybe helping her to take decision, giving her emotional support, giving her better perspective, bringing the values on the table, right? I think these are the things which are very important now because she is also educated. Right, what you know, she also knows it. But here the collaboration is even more required, rather than I can say that rather than argument or you look into it, it's your job, who told you to do it, right? So I think negativity is not required. It should be a really a partnership, a professional partnership at home is also required, that how you look at your job, how I can tell you what I have learned from my experiences. I think that kind of family structure is required in India now, so that women can work very comfortably. And if you look at it, in urban areas also, if you look at it, the success stories, especially in education, they are always dominating. When it comes to the marks, percentage or credits, what they are doing it. When it comes to the projects, when it comes to the patents, when it comes to the research papers, when it comes to the writing the books, I think they are into it. So what is required is that we are not talking about give us emotional support. Right? Females are not talking. They are saying that allow us to speak our mind. Allow us. We also bring experiences. We also understand business. Right? And I think and that is what women leadership is. Right? It's not like you asked her that, and she said that it's like she is very strong-headed. The reason is when no one is ready to accept and she knows it, that this is right, then she becomes strong-headed. She becomes aggressive, right? She knows that this is going to work, and that intuition, gut-based decision, she is more powerful than the other gender. And therefore, she says that this is my way and this is how I want to. That's fine. You can come up with the floral words. You can have a very different language where you can keep convincing. But she doesn't have that much of time if she wants to get that speed. right? She has to ride that the decision, or she has to ride that wave which she has to explore it, and can she see that opportunities. And if you're not, I think that mindset, that understanding or realizing that what you go and that's what you wear the shoes, you wear her shoes, and then understand that what she is looking at, how she is looking at the world, how she is looking at the opportunity, business organization, right? It's not like I am working with this organization from last 20 years, so she cannot do it. How can she? She knows. That's why she is in that role, right? As a CHRO, as a managing director, or maybe as we can say maybe as a vice, of course, right? So, or maybe a politician, right? She understands the nerves, she understands the opportunity, she understands how to utilize the resources, because that was her always one of the strength from family, because she knows that how to manage the things in the very less resources, right? So if you don't understand this, how can you so you are saying that we empowered? No, you empowered means that it should come, that you treat her, that she's also your team member, and she's also taking care of the business. I think this kind of perspective, these kind of thoughts are required in today's organization. Come out of those taboos that women will come and they will say with the typical requesting word. No, now they are also, they know what they are doing. Right, so look at the Draupadi Murmu, or maybe look at many of them are there. Right, look at Priyanka Chopra. Right, look at you start going through those. Look at Shabana Azmi, what she is. Right, so I think we need to pick up the diamonds, and we have to really make our crown very, very beautiful and very strong enough. Right, it's not a decorative place. She knows what she is doing, and therefore I think women leadership is doing extremely. Arundhati Bhattacharya, how many examples. It's not only one. We were talking about Biocon lady, but today if you look at it, at every corner you have you have all those kind of opportunities, and women leaders around you. Give them opportunities. They will definitely, even at home also. Right, you are a small kid, your small daughter, she knows what she is reading, she knows how she can really make the change at home, right? And one more thing which is very important, in today's organizations, women should be supported by women, right? So this is one thing which is very important. It's not only men, but I think women should be supported by women, and therefore once we come out of this gender thought process that she is the resource, she is the important she or he, whosoever it is, I think that is required, because we always talk about diversity, we talk about culture, we talk about gender equality, but I think things are required to be looked into a different perspective, and then we can have many women. Why should we call it as a women leadership, right? We should say, who is your leader? Yeah, I think that should be the neutral statement should come, and I'm sure that in India we'll have soon these kind of stuff. Who is your leader, right? Not the person name or gender name, right? I think that should be the outcome of our efforts or the policies which we are making at large for the Indian, the competent people or talented people.
We are heading in that direction.
Yeah. Yes.
Vinda, I want to ask you, while you hire for your organization, what are the challenges you face when you hire a woman, in terms of hiring, in terms of retaining them as for the longest duration possible?
Let me tell you, now if I consider, even a short span of last 3 years or whatever, women retention is highest than men retention, and once they commit themselves, they don't leave the job or they don't compromise on it. I consider myself blessed being a woman entrepreneur, though I don't really want to attach that tag. It's an entrepreneurship, that's it. But why I say so, because when women approach me saying that I want to do this job, but I need say 1 hour gap in between because I want to drop my child to school and come back, and I consider myself blessed being in that role because I understand what it means and I can allow her doing that.
True.
And then she works with me for a longer duration. Then whatever she commits, she does it, and she ensures that because I have got this this facility where I am understood, my core issues are understood, then when she works, she gives her 100%. I am not saying that men don't understand this. They do. But as being a woman, I understand it better because I know what the connection means. When they say that there is no one taking care of my children at home, what should I do? Then I think I'm better placed giving them alternatives, options. So I would say that women working with me give me, it's not that men do not work, but the retention rates are higher, and the performance levels are also wonderful. The only thing is, it should be a two-way process. Because I am into a leadership role, one more good thing about us is we are startup. So we are formulating our own policies. We are not carrying any baggages of policies since long. So now that we are creating policies, it is good thing that we can consider this aspect, that since we have many women working with us, we must consider these things. At the same time, I also get opportunity to talk to them, make them aware about certain things where they feel themselves limited to certain taboos or biases or prejudices. I get opportunity to pull them out of that. And I think for women, this is the best place. Their workplace is the best place where they can be aware, they can get good exposure, and they can break the barriers.
They also have certain limitations when it comes to hiring women, like the infrastructure that we have in terms of, especially when it comes to manufacturing unit, like a separate toilet facility, or probably where they can have a separate room where they can take care of certain things that they have, or also probably if they have this maternity leave, when they want to come back early, they have a certain facility where somebody is taking care of the baby and things like that. So would you like to throw some light on these kind of facilities that?
For me particularly, I would say it is naturally happening. Since when I designed my first office, since then I am thinking on those lines, because I think from my perspective, I am a family woman. I know what limitations or problems I used to face in my earlier jobs. Then I know that these facilities should be available in our office. Not every industry or not every manufacturing setup can offer that. Let me be very honest and upfront here. You have to have those sort of facilities and have to have that sort of bandwidth available with you. Everything is not available with me. But what alternatively I have is the understanding. I know that what the government rules are, what their critical problems are, and how I can help them overcome those problems. So yes, women have those problems, but as she correctly said, they don't need that sort of support. They just need a hand or somebody saying that you can do it. If you decide you can do it, tell us whatever support you need and we are there to support you, and the woman can do it herself. There are also a set of women, we cannot ignore that, a section of a society where they're not taught or they're not nurtured the way we are nurtured, the kind of exposure we had. In both my pregnancies, I worked until the last day of my delivery. Not every woman can take it. But as a woman, I think I need to understand that. I need to understand and tell her that, okay, if you can't really manage with your health issues, you take an off or take a break for say a few months, and whenever you are back with your full strength, you approach me again, I'm here. Instead of saying that your job is gone and I'm not bothered now. I think that assurance is enough for a woman. She doesn't really need or ask for anything else. She can otherwise make her way.
Absolutely. That's a very nice initiative and very nice thought process that you have for your people. So Vinda, as someone who has built a business in manufacturing, what unique strengths do women bring to this sector?
I would say courage and risk-taking ability. That is required in manufacturing. It's required in all the industries, I must say. But when as an entrepreneur you are developing or carving out something, these two things are particularly required, and I feel women biologically and naturally have it. It's just, in fact, manufacturing is a great setup for women. The woman who can create a child, the woman who can cook food and create food, the woman who is into agriculture for years together, who can create agricultural field can create anything. So in fact, I feel it is the best setup for women where they can explore their abilities to the fullest. They can do a lot of things there because the strengths required they already have in them. Or additionally, if we ask for something, then probably the exposure and knowledge about the world view, if we consider, probably women fall a little short there because there are a lot of things available around them, but it is the mental blocks or the limitations in which they brought up, they don't allow them to go completely open or with a free mind with the opportunities available around. One, it is a duty of a society and government to make the opportunities available, but making them available will not be sufficient. Making them reach the right women is the bridging that gap is required, and probably that bridge is missing at the moment. So women who are approaching or thinking of getting into a manufacturing setup, I think knowing what is available for their own benefit is the missing link which needs to be established.
True. I have one question for you while you were talking about the risk-taking ability. I feel when it comes to the risk, it's more with men than with women.
Okay, explain. Explain why do you think so?
Because they can just jump into anything, like they don't think twice about starting a business. But when it comes to women, their thought process about they actually think twice or thrice about before starting a business, and they are like, because they need the resources and they think about, can I do it? Do I have that kind of support system? Do I have that kind of financial support? Can I do it? So, but when it comes to men, they don't think about, they probably find out ways and means of doing it. That's what I feel very strongly, but we could have difference of opinion definitely.
Okay, so I think we call women particularly, we call them, they're driven by emotions, and I feel it is their strength. So one more point gets added to the strength section that you asked. It is good thing that they are driven by emotions, because then their emotions are their best support. If they know, I will speak from my perspective, and I'm sure many women will agree. If they feel that this is doable, they certainly will think twice, thrice, or even 100 times. But then they will, whatever risk they will face or take will be a calculated risk. Then the chances of the whole concept becoming successful increase than just jumping into it out of a spontaneous a reaction or whatever. I think women are made to take plunge. They do take. So
You're a better judge.
in fact, if they think twice, thrice, or 100 times, it is a good thing, because they calculate and then they take the plunge. That is helpful, because then the chances of the whole concept becoming a successful model increase, are much higher. So that's one. And then again I'll come back to the point that I made, where probably women are lacking at this moment is the opportunities available around them, they are not aware about that. We need to create those links where they can definitely make use of them for their own benefit, for their own plunges that they're taking, the kind of risks they are going to take. If once they come to know that there are so many things available, nothing can really stop them. And it is not about man or woman, it is about a mindset, and that mindset can be of anyone. I also want to talk about one more thing. When we talk about rural women, I have found them more in fact better in risk taking ability, because they have very little to lose. They are already aware that they can manage their homes, their family, their life so they have very meager needs. So they are ready, they have been managing in little, hardly anything that is put at stake. Then the risk taking ability increases, because you're not putting in a lot of
But does the society allow them to do it, is the question there.
The society is nothing. There are so many women who have got into manufacturing looking at the social problems. I know women who have started a business where they've seen that the agricultural production which is being done, farmers are facing a lot of problems, because if they don't get a good rate in the market, the whole produce is gone to waste. And it is only women who could think of it, why waste it, instead of do something, create a machine where we can store them and work with that waste so that it can be used for something else. Why women see those problems which are generally ignored as a part of limitation or as a part of problem. क्या करेंगे, रेट नहीं मिला तो फेंक देंगे. So why waste? Why throw it away? Let's do something better with it, is the thought which only woman can think, because she saves so many things at her home. So she knows that these problems can be addressed. How is the concern? And with, as she correctly said, now that they're coming up with the educational thing, there are opportunities even in rural areas. They are coming up with opportunities where even girls are getting educated same in a similar way, so they can think beyond what the available technology or available machinery is there. They can think beyond that and come up with something new. So I have seen even rural girls coming up with these kind of ideas.
Wow, that's nice. Doctor, in your opinion, do women bring a different problem solving approach or management style that could benefit the manufacturing industry?
I think she has answered it very well, right? Because in entrepreneurship, I think one thing is very important, that is because enterprise is been created, the first thing is that the need of the society. Second is how to convert those needs into wants. These are typical business models you will find in every company. And the third one, which is very important, is problem solving. So identify the problems and give the solutions is the responsibility of all business organization. And then once you are done with these three, the fourth one, which is very important, is that create. That people, they are not aware that these products or these needs can be their enterprises, so they identify the needs which are not seen by anyone and create those. So if you look at it, the role of women, again going back to my statement that entrepreneur is not gender based, right? So entrepreneurship is based on problem solving. So when women identify or a men identify the problem, they have to give the solution. And then of course the solution, when you're going ahead with the solution, it should come with the creativity and innovation, right? So I think manufacturing industries, when you look at them, I think there are many opportunities. Identify the problems and give them the solution. There are many case studies which can be read by the engineers, non-engineers, everyone, where they have given the solutions right from waste management to, like the one lady is there in Pune, she manufactures the glue, which is not water based, and she's doing extremely well, Smita Joshi, right? And she has that factory with her where she creates that glue with the help of plant based, we can say that the plant based, the solutions or the liquids which she gets, and those have been sent to the industry. I think there are so many opportunities, and those stories can be looked into it. Milind Kamre's, the Dickey chairman, his daughter is doing a wonderful job in creating or converting waste into that, and she's giving solution for those things. I think so many examples are there.
Yeah. Vinda, this is for you. What can companies and industry leaders do to make manufacturing more inclusive and attractive to women?
Okay. So I think instead of companies or industries or somebody else doing something, women doing something for themselves is sufficient. I would just tweak the whole statement saying that what women can do is something that they will do, irrespective of whether there is possibility or no possibility. We as industry or society is bound to continue offering the opportunities and the best place where they can grow. In my tenure of entrepreneurship, I have seen appreciation in the eyes of men, women both. So I am part of the industrial groups, and where men manufacturers are there, women manufacturers are there, and they have mutual respect. That is sufficient. This mutual respect and mutual support. So many industries, irrespective of women leadership or men leadership, they are collaborating and doing something bigger. So inclusivity is the only thing. Rest, everybody carves out their own ways.
Very true. This is a final question for both of you. If you had to give one piece of advice to women considering a career in manufacturing, what would it be?
Go for it. Go for it, do it.
Doctor, you have no bias when it comes to women or men. You are like, they have to be competent enough and that's all they need.
Go for it. Go for it. No one will stop anyone, and see to it that you deliver the best. Don't compromise with the quality. It should be always the best, right? And once you have that passion of delivering the best thing, success will follow you. And learn from failures, that's fine. If you fail, that's okay. So don't have that kind of fear in your mind. Go on doing it, and world is awaiting for such leaders to come. Yeah. Thank you.
What about you, Vinda?
I would say be selfish. I think when the word selfish is predominantly used as a negative term, and I have been looking at it from a positive angle from the day one, since when I've been into this, or since when I've got into working professional setup. Why? Because being selfish means that you respect yourself and you explore your inner capabilities to the fullest. It is my duty, since I am on this earth, it is my duty to explore my capabilities to the fullest and use them in this one birth. So be selfish in doing that. So once you start focusing within, automatically your focus from the world around, the direction changes. If you look inside, you don't really, the other pressures or what society says, what somebody says doesn't really bother you, because you know what you are, and that is sufficient. So I think be selfish and never introduce yourself, or do not limit yourself by the gender. The moment you start looking at yourself not as a man or a woman but as a human, it is everything else gets or falls into the place.
I think we ourselves change into a different person altogether, not thinking that, oh, I cannot do this or I can do this.
So as a woman, probably I would certainly have certain things different than men, and that is how the world should be. That is how we are. Accepting it, there is no harm in accepting that I am a woman, so I will have certain biological things different than what a man would have. But that is not a stoppage. Once I start looking at it from a different perspective, keeping that tag aside, the whole approach changes. I think being selfish is the great thing. Look within and everything will fall in place.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you both for your time. Final lines for the podcast.
So before you just say that, thank you so much for inviting us and for initiating this kind of discussion where we could look at one topic from a different perspective, from different angles, and also this opportunity where we could share our experiences and throw a light. I just hope that society, as a society, we start looking at the whole setup, the whole topic in a different perspective henceforth.
Very true. Thank you both for your time, your insights, and your passion for creating a more inclusive manufacturing sector. This conversation does not end here. It's just the beginning. To all our listeners, let's continue this dialogue, challenge existing norms, and work together to open more doors for women in manufacturing. If you found this discussion valuable, share it with your network, start a conversation, and let's take action together. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, keep pushing boundaries, breaking barriers, and championing change. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to invite Vivek Sinare, founder of President Solution, to give us a token of appreciation. Mr. Vivek, please come.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
for
Thank you. Thank you
sharing
so
your
much.
valuable time for this
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you so much.
This is a gift
Oh, so
from
nice.
us.
Thank you so
very
much.
So, thank you, Vinda, for coming and sparing your valuable time for this Resonance Talks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.